Just ahead on American Black Journal, a new book is coming out about the life of legendary entertainer Jackie Wilson as told through the eyes of his children. I'll talk with Wilson's daughter and lead guitar player about the music icon. Plus, a special report on a program designed to alleviate poverty. Stay right there. American Black Journal starts now.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. Happy Father's Day. It is fitting that my first guest has co-written a book with her brother about their famous father, Jackie Wilson. The Detroit-born recording artist paved the way for many African-American performers when he crossed over from R&B to pop and rock music. The book is titled The Jackie Wilson Story, The House That Jack Built. It contains a collection of memories and stories as told by his son Anthony and his daughter Brenda. It's the first time that fans will get an up-close and personal look at the life of the man known around the world as Mr. Excitement.
Jackie Wilson, here he is.
I'm pleased to welcome Jackie Wilson's daughter, Brenda Wilson, along with his lead guitar player and longtime friend, Billy Davis, to American Black Journal. Thanks, both of you, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what a wonderful tribute to your dad to be able to write this book and tell this story that people don't know. I mean, people know the music, they know the voice, that voice. I mean,
Right.
you watch that clip and that is unmistakable
Right.
who that is, but they don't really know who he was.
Yeah, you know, and as the memories that we have, you know, a lot of them we were told, Uncle Billy and our mothers and stuff, my brother and I. My brother has memories, you know, being on the road with him and things like that. And I'm older, so I have some different memories, you know. But it was a joy because to know, you really, as coming up, we really didn't realize how famous he was.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
You didn't know
No,
as
it
his
wasn't.
kid.
It wasn't like he's just famous entertainer. You know.
Right.
But with my brother, being on the road with him, he did realize who he was.
Yeah. Talk about some of the memories that that people will find in this book.
Well, some of the memories, Uncle Billy had told us a lot of stories along with other people. I know one story that Thelma Stubbs told us as well about him, and I think it was Johnny Lee Hooker or Levi Stubbs or something, were at the Warfield, the Warfield Theater, and they always had like competitions, and every week one of them would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week one of them
would win.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Billy, that collaboration between the singer and that lead guitarist is one of the most sacred partnerships in any musical endeavor. Talk about your relationship with Jackie Wilson.
Yeah, my relationship with it, I remember when I first started playing, trying to learn how to play guitar. He told me then, he said, when you get it, say you can come and play with me. So in 19, when he recorded Reed Petite, he was looking for me to go on the road, but at that time I was a wild guy. I couldn't, and I'd be trying to find him, and he would be gone. So I ended up going with Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. And I went with him for years, and I went back with him later, But it's just the voice about it. He just had so much charisma in the sound of his voice, the things he could do with his voice, just was amazing.
Yeah.
And all the while I was playing with him, I was just fascinated by it. And one night we was playing and I don't know exactly where it was at, but anyway, I was just looking at him. I said, man, look at how great this cat is. And all these people just going crazy. And I said, how can I tell people, describe him, my description, what is it about him? And I watched him, and I come to it, I said, he works in audience just like a man meets a girl. He's in love. He's fascinated by this chick. So he's working 10, 15,000 people the same manner. He excites them.
Right.
He pets them. He caresses them. Then when he get ready, he brings them all to a climax at the same time. 10,000 people.
Right. That's a great analogy.
That's the only way I can describe it.
How did you meet Jackie Wilson?
Well, we've known. Well, I met him through. My mother knew his mother before from Mississippi, and he was 4 years older than myself. So I didn't meet him until I was about 12, 13 years of age. That's when we really got to know each other. Because where we lived in Mississippi, his mother was already here when we came.
Okay.
And it was just like we on the road. He was just like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
I didn't have a brother, and he didn't either.
Yeah. Well, I hear Brenda calling you Uncle.
Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like an uncle
to the
to
depth
us,
of the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Well, all of the kids, that's what they used to call. They thought, because on the road, people would ask us all the time, "Are you brother? That's your brother? That's your brother?" So one day he winked his eye at me. He said, "Let's start telling them, yeah."
Yeah. No. Right.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
As I said in the open, your dad becomes a huge star because of that crossover from R&B to pop and rock. What's your memory of that part of him, that decision to sort of become bigger?
Well, I wasn't there, and I was a little younger. Okay, but so that just to think about how he did it.
Yeah.
I think it was really great that he was able to change over, from pop to rock, because Daddy could sing anything.
Right.
He could do. He came from the church.
Yeah.
He started. He was in the group the Everyreadies, gospel singers, and so he could do jazz, pop. Listen, he had 4-octave range.
Yeah.
Okay,
which is really
tenor.
remarkable. Right?
Remarkable that he could be an opera singer. You listen what he did with the Knights. You listen what he did with Old Danny Boy. So he could do anything.
With that voice.
Anything with that voice. And just like Uncle Billy said, he brought him to a whole climax all of them at the same time.
Right.
And he had all this charisma
Right. And
and
it wasn't
energy.
just it
was
wasn't just
exciting.
the voice, it was also his personality.
His
right?
personality, yes.
Yeah. What was that personality like in the house?
Well, not really being in the house,
Yeah.
you know, all the time,
Right, he's
because Daddy
traveling.
he wasn't there all the time. He traveled, and like I said, my brother, he spent more time with him on the road and stuff than I did. In fact, I didn't travel with him at all on the road.
Yeah.
But just to know that, I know that on the road, there was different challenges that they had,
Yeah.
coming up, going to chilling circus and going on to different places and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
But once they knew that Daddy was there, people were really excited,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just to see him. And he was young, too.
Right.
He played places where he wasn't even supposed to be in.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was in the, what you call Lee Sensation, in the Flame Show Bar and things like that, where he was even old. He was underage. He wasn't even supposed to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Talk about that crossover and this time in America where you guys are out on the road. Very different time from now, and a different time to be an African American.
Yeah, very different. It was a lot of, well, like I say, he had such a charisma over the fans and especially the women. There was a guy in Georgia killed his wife because she was so just.
Because she was.
He shot her.
Oh no!
Shot
Wow.
her, his wife. And just. That's just the impact he had on the
Yeah.
and it's just this guy shot. That was in the late '60s.
Yeah. When he becomes this sensation, a superstar, does that change things for you guys on the road? Does that change the way audiences respond? What was that like?
Yeah, it did because it opened up places like like the Fountain Blue in Miami,
Yeah.
like that, and the Copacabana.
Yeah.
So it opened up some avenues in that respect.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And then with he was good friends with Sam Cooke.
Right.
And then there was Ray Charles, and there was James Brown. And so they were all there together. In some of the shows, you might see Sam Cooke headlining, and then you might see Jackie headlining.
Right.
But I don't think it was never an issue because either one or all of them were great.
Yes.
I
Right.
think all of them was great.
Yeah. He is, of course, from Detroit, and so much great music came out of Detroit
Oh, yes,
at
definitely.
that time. What do you remember about that time in music, given what was going on right here in the city?
You're talking
while
about
your
with
dad was-
Motown?
Yeah, with
Okay.
Motown and.
Okay, yeah. Well, Daddy and Berry Gordy were friends,
Yeah.
and Berry Gordy wrote about 5 of Daddy's first hits. Reaper T was one of the first songs that he wrote. And so Berry Gordy couldn't sing.
Right.
But he could write.
Right.
He could write the songs, and so he would have Daddy, he would show Daddy the songs and play them or try to sing them, and Daddy said, "That's all right, man. Wait a minute, I'll take care of this.
I'll
I'll
do it."
do this." Okay. So he would do the songs and make them their own. He'd make them their own, So back then, Daddy also opened a lot of doors for people.
Yeah.
The story about Joe Billingsley always tell the story, how they went to audition for Berry, and he told him that, "No, man, you come back in a year." So the story is that they went to Daddy and went to the house and told him, and Daddy made a phone call, and he told him to go back the next day. And so he said they went back the next day, sang the same exact song and everything, and Berry signed
And
him.
Berry signed him.
And that's how they got to the contours.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
got to Berry
because of your dad's
But
influence.
yeah, the influence. Made a phone call. Tell me, go on back.
Here we go,
You done.
right?
You good.
Yeah. Have you heard from the people who knew him about what's in the book?
Oh
their
yeah,
response
a
to it?
lot of people. Mary Wilson has done the forward for us, and she was also last year. They named a street after Daddy called the
Right.
Jackie Wilson Lane. Mary Wilson was our keynote speaker, and we did a big celebration in Highland Park at R.J. Watkins Station. And so we had like almost over 500 people there. We had the Contours, the Stub Girls, and Rance Allen opened with a song and a prayer.
Wow.
And that was big.
Yeah.
So Mary Wilson, she was so humble and so sweet. She was a keynote speaker along with many other artists that loved Daddy and supporters and friends and fans. So that was great.
Well, he was a treasure, and what a great way to mark Father's Day, talking about you writing about your dad.
Yes, and then we also have the Jackie Wilson Foundation.
Right.
And that's geared towards youth and young adults in the media, music, and the performing arts. But I've been doing this for over 27 years, putting kids on stage.
All right. Well, congratulations on the book, and
Thank
thanks
you.
very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, up next, a new way to look at poverty and how to treat it. But first, here's a 1995 Detroit Black Journal interview with the legendary and mysterious late-night radio personality, the electrifying Mojo.
His legend as the force in late-night radio is well-earned. The electrifying Mojo has dominated Detroit's radio waves after dark for almost 2 decades. Hovering above the metro on his mothership, Mojo has beamed down a blast of music ranging from Billie Holiday to the B-52s, from Bob Marley to the Rolling Stones, from Prince to Jimi Hendrix. No genre of good music is ignored. His commitment to the city of Detroit is unprecedented, and he is Detroit's unsung ambassador of goodwill. Even the venerable former mayor, Coleman A. Young, has flown aboard the mothership. Joining us now from a remote location, the electrifying Mojo. Welcome to Detroit Black Journal, Mojo.
Well, Daryl, thank you very much for having me here. This is definitely a profound experience for me.
I'm going to, by way of explanation for our viewers, indicate that for years in Detroit, one of the things that has been a part of your celebrity, if we can put it that way, is your anonymity. And that is why we cannot see exactly what you look like. How did that part of your persona become established?
I've always just wanted to remain a voice on the radio, facing a crowd, a figment of the imagination. I think that, when you are elevated too high on a pedestal, you remove yourself from the earshot of what regular people have to say and how they feel, and sometimes it makes it impossible to relate on a relative level.
Okay, as we approach the 50th anniversary of the Detroit Rebellion, the Detroit Journalism Cooperative has filed several reports on issues that led to the uprising and how things stand today. One of these concerns, of course, is poverty. Our One Detroit team examined a nationwide program that is changing the way we view poverty and offering a new way of helping people transition to success.
Where am I going to sleep tonight? Where is my next meal coming from? These are uncertainties for more than 46 million Americans living in poverty. In fact, living in poverty itself is the only certainty they can count on. 1 in 5 children in the U.S. are living in poverty. For Denise McNair, constant impoverishment was a way of life growing up on Detroit's west side.
We lived in an apartment duplex. My mother, she working and struggling and trying to make ends meet, and we had to wear our clothes twice a week. You don't know you're poor or you lack until somebody says something.
The United States has the second highest child poverty rate in the industrialized world, with more than 15 million children living in long-term poverty. Complications from insufficient food or food insecurities have lasting effects on children.
The development of their brains changes. Those areas of the brain are directly related to the ability to learn, to stable emotional response, memory, cognition. So young children who do not get enough to eat are on the track right out the gate for having struggles and barriers and issues that will prevent them from moving out of poverty as adults.
Nobody wants to be poor. It's just that situations and circumstances, things happen. And if we're not properly taught how to deal with the situations, we be introduced to ways to deal with situations.
With fading hope, at 16, she would have a child, drop out of school, and turn to drugs and alcohol to mask the pain of being poor and forgotten. She would later be arrested and imprisoned.
I had snatched her purse and ran out, and then she called the police, and then they came and got me.
Once released, Denise was accepted into a program that has a new way of treating poverty.
There is no system of care in this country that frames poverty as a medically based, environmentally based condition. When anybody, regardless of age, race, religion, culture, is exposed to lack of access of food, lack of access to housing, crime, lack of access to health care, substandard schools, lead to, statistically speaking, sicker lives, shorter lives, and much higher expense related in the medical world.
The U.S. spends more than $1 trillion a year to fight poverty. Marcella Wilson, Ph.D., is changing the landscape and thought process of treating poverty.
I don't believe that we're not doing enough to help the poor in this country. The problem is we're not doing it properly.
A former healthcare worker, Marcella has developed a new standard of care which analyzes and suggests best practices with transitions to success.
The standard of care for the treatment of condition of poverty is a training program that first teaches how to understand poverty as a treatable condition, and that treatment plan identifies all paths that must be followed. That same data then is collected across different systems, compiled, compared with the best in research, and then the protocols change. They get better because research and the data we collect from patients continually tells us how to do it better.
By standardizing care, for the first time ever, the team can see best practices throughout the process and fix those that aren't working, in addition to navigating multiple platforms across departmental systems.
So what you have are these mega systems: education, healthcare, human services, criminal justice, but none of them working in concert or related to one another, and no consistent theoretical framework from which all of them to operate from. And that's what this model brings to the United States.
This is the church I went to every Sunday.
Going back to where she started the program, Denise recalls how the transformation began.
It lessens the worries. They gave you everything you needed. It's just that you had to take advantage of it. You had to change the way you thought. You had to change your attitudes and beliefs about life.
The explanation is that regardless of who you are, where you come from, when you get support, navigating all the services that you're eligible for, real mentoring, real navigation, and you combine it with volunteerism, peer mentoring, financial literacy.
They build your self-esteem. They build your self-worth. They build, you have courage to go out there and do what you need to do. They give you the tools to go and do it.
In addition to compiling financial assistance resources available to each individual, self-building, and mapping their dreams, participants also work on occupational skill, building the process, preparing them for gainful employment.
They got the job training. She built us up for the interviews. I knew what to say. I knew how to dress. I knew that my dress was in order. I knew my response was going to be in order.
They're employed and they're a contributing member of society, and they're paying their child support and they're paying their taxes. This has potential to have profound return on investment.
The program has become a nationwide success, gaining the attention of the Center for Disease Control and recognized as a Clinton Global Initiative.
Those presentations around the country have sparked 14 pilots that are now operating around the United States.
The results of the program have led to drastic improvements in lowering recidivism rates, improving Head Start programs, and mental health by treating poverty holistically. Inspired to achieve her dream, Denise did something she never thought possible.
My anger turned into inspiration. The very next day I called the WC3 and asked about their GED program. So I went on to get my GED, and I went on to get my associates, my bachelor's and my master's from Wayne State.
For this high school dropout, now armed with a master's degree, she found her dream.
And I have an education, I have employment, I take care of myself, I do things that I'm supposed to do. My goal was always to bring the families together. I was born a social worker.
All right, that's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.